Hey everyone, welcome to the Your Company Health Podcast. I'm really excited today to have my guest on. He is Mr. Nathaniel Wilkens, and he's the health coaching expert that's gonna talk to today about some exciting stuff. So welcome Nathaniel, and how are you?
Excellent, and thank you for the opportunity. We got together through LinkedIn, and that's a beautiful platform. But more importantly, I like what it is that you're doing, right? You're talking about companies, business, and you talk to these people like me who talk about health and their companies and what have. This is a beautiful time. So I'm excited about the opportunity and can't wait to hear what you have to ask me so I can feed back to you.
Fantastic, man. I'm pumped too. I'm pumped too because I see what you're doing too, and you're making moves, man, and you're helping a lot of people. So that's why I brought you on here because I know that you will add a lot of value to this program. So to get things off, Nathaniel, just tell us about your background and how you started in the health coaching space.
I like to tell people I was born. That was the first thing that happened, right? I had to get on the planet. But along the process there, through college and sort of working 27 years as a parks and recreation professional, and then one day a city manager called me in the office and said, "You got two choices." As I'm the director of a department, he said, "You have two choices. One, you can resign, or two, you can be terminated. Which one do you choose?" I said, "Well, I'm not going to pick up the gun and shoot myself. You fire me." He fired me. I was doing exercise at the time, and so that led me into what I'm doing right now: health, wellness, and healing. But also during that time, when you work in these stressful environments, a lot of things start to happen. One, you eat, you hang out with the wrong types of people, and that led me into the hospital. I had some heart issues, and so it made me sort of take a different focus and look at myself. And so while that was a piece of it, I had the need to exercise, but also by the inspiration of desperation, I needed to have something to do. And so this business of health, wellness, and healing became my life. And that's how we get to this place.
And Nathaniel, that's awesome. And oftentimes, we as leaders and business owners, situations propel us to our destiny. And just as how you explained it, it's just a fantastic story how you got into what you're doing. So I want you to talk to us about the art of aging gracefully, because I know that you're big on that.
Yeah. So when I talk about the art of aging gracefully, I can talk about that because I know a few things about that, right? I'm 67 years young. What
Mm.
I'm attempting to do is make it to 100, but I want to make it to 100 kicking and screaming and having the kind of fun that I want to have. If I want to play with my grandchildren, if I want to travel around the world, if I want to associate with beautiful people around the world, that's what I want to do. And I just want to check out of here like a puff of smoke.
Woo.
But what I have to do is eat better, right? I have to associate better. I have to read. I have to learn. I have to continue to make sure that this body is functioning the way that it needs to function. It's kind of like being in the Wizard of Oz. I got to put a little bit of oil here, a little bit of oil there. I got to wake up in the morning. I love waking up in the morning, seeing the sunlight. I love to breathe the fresh air. And so all of these things are part of what I call aging gracefully. Some people just sort of age. I want to age gracefully. I want to look the part. I want to feel the part. I want to smell the part. I want to be all of these things as I continue down the spectrum of aging gracefully. I hope that makes sense.
Of course, man, that's perfect. They always say your health is your wealth, right?
Absolutely.
It's always so important to invest in that, so that you'll be the best you. So we touched on aging gracefully, but I want you to tell our audience about your ageless workout program and your tribe and the mindset.
Yeah, so thanks for asking about that. So the ageless workout actually came about. I didn't coin the phrase, right? There was a young man that I was asking to put together a website, around, what the work that I was doing with my partner, Shiva Karfanya. And as he started to look at the exercise that we were doing, the way that we were doing, the intensity, sort of commitment, he said, why don't you guys call this the ageless workout? So we tried to find the ageless workout. Ageless was gone, but ageless workout was there. And that's how the ageless workout came about. It is a part of the way you work out, the getting up in the morning, the commitment, doing things that you don't necessarily want to do, but you do them because it's good for you. It's having a mindset and the attitude that it's important that you get this stuff done, that if you have issues, you deal with issues, right, and go forward anyway. So if you need to have a consultation with your doctor, don't put that off because it's too important. You got to take care of that right now. If you have some mental challenges, you got to go see somebody and talk those things out. It's all about getting in charge of your own life, taking your own life back and not leaving that to chance. There's also a series of exercises that we like to do, but more importantly, it's about health first, right? And then looking good later. And all of these things put together, what we think is actually the ageless workout, the ageless mindset, and the tribe. And the tribe is about 3 in 10 people who are like us and perhaps like you, that are going to do what's necessary to take good care of yourself. And you're going to get up when other people want to sleep late. You're going to eat well when other people might want to eat, off course, right? You're going to associate well. You're going to do all the things, these 3 in 10 people. And we know that there are people like that all over. And hopefully today I'm talking to some people like that who want to be a part of this tribe. We invite you to be a part of the Ageless Workout Tribe. That's what the Ageless Workout is all about.
So Nathaniel, so our audience may be listening or watching and saying, that's all good. That's all good. It sounds good, but I mean, in terms of the consistency and just to keep on having that mindset, how does one maintain that? Because I know with working out, I mean, it's so hard to keep going. You started that's why you'll find that people, the gym membership would be skyrocketed like the first part of the year, like just first part of the year. And then it goes downhill from the first quarter going down because people will start and a New Year's resolution, we're going to work out, we're going to get this in. And then, it just went away. So how can one, maintain this?
Well, first of all, I think you got to make a decision that it's important, right? And so maybe it's just getting up out of the bed for first and putting your shoes on, right? Maybe it's going for a walk. These little bitty steps, not big steps, right? Little bitty steps. Saying that I'm going to do this 2 or 3 times a week and do it, right? As opposed to finding every reason in the world not to do it. If the rain comes, you still go. If the snow comes, and we don't get snow, but you understand if somebody's from somewhere where it's snow, if it's cold, you do it anyway. Maybe you don't go to the gym. Maybe you do exercise like push-ups and lunges and all these things in your house. So you find a way, right? Because it's all about your commitment to yourself. See, here's the thing. It's not about what you tell somebody else. It's about what you tell yourself. And if you are a flake with yourself, right, then how can you be something to somebody else? And so it does not happen overnight, right? It is the accumulation of the deep conversations that you have with yourself. If you've not been good at it, and you bought all these gym memberships all the time and you just don't finish. Well, this time, here's where the rubber meets the road. This time, I'm going to stay consistent because I know it's important to me. So these are the kinds of sort of conversations that we have with ourselves. And the other thing is that we've joined forces with other people like us, right? That's why we talk about the tribe, because they keep us accountable, right? So sometimes I might not want to go, but my partner gets up and I'm looking around like, well, where are you going? I'm going to work out. And so it makes me feel some kind of way. I write it down. I tell people what I'm going to do. There's something about committing yourself to somebody else that you said you're going to do it, and they look at you and say, well, I thought you said you were going to do that, but now you're not going to do it. If you are anybody, if you think about yourself in a certain kind of way, and here's what I'm saying to you, I'm not talking to everybody right now. I'm talking to only those people who want to be a part of, who see themselves the way that we're talking, right? Because, winners will respond to a challenge. So if you're a winner, you will find the consistency, even if you have to bite your lip and get up and do it. You're going to make sure that the commitment that you made to yourself, you're going to follow through. And for sure, if you have told somebody else that you're doing these things, by God, you don't want to disappoint them, because then you know that you're a flake. And
that's fantastic.
Flakes, right?
No, that's fantastic. And two things I got out of that, and I know our listeners will, but the audience, got that too. Accountability and doing things in stages, baby steps. And those things will keep you going on, and you definitely hit the nail on the head in terms of giving us those strategies to keep or to maintaining that ageless lifestyle. So Nathaniel, I want you to tell us about your purpose. I know this is your passion, but what's your purpose in all this?
So I'm actually in the business of changing other people's lives. But first of all, I'm working to change my own life, right? It's me. I have been given another opportunity, right? Because I told you I had some health challenges, and I could have checked out. We know that life is sort of tender and special, and so the purpose that I have is to actually share what has been given to me. That if somebody is actually looking for a way to believe in themselves, then maybe they can lock hands with me or the other people that are part of the tribe, and maybe we can help them make one more step closer to what they say they're going to do. So it's all of these things, sort of giving back, taking the eye off of yourself and putting it on someone else. See, here's what I know is that the more you help somebody else, the more you help yourself, right? You cannot get out of life by taking all the time. You can't go through life with your hands open like this. Somehow you got to turn it over and give it to somebody else. And so it's important to me that I'm doing a lot of that. I want to give a whole lot because I want to get a whole lot back. I want abundance from the Creator. I don't know if that makes sense to you.
No, of course, that's perfect. Givers gain. The more you give, the more you'll get back, and I believe in that. From the bottom of my heart, I believe in that. Mm-hmm. So, and Nathaniel, later on, we will touch on some of the things that you're doing in the community. But I want you to talk to us about. You mentioned, earlier, or before the podcast, about dominating your space. Talk to us about that.
Mm-hmm. So that means, in my mind, that means that I get up early, yeah, right? That I'm up with I wake up the chickens. I go outside. I want to smell the air early in the morning. I take my dogs out because I think that the air, and I think that the trees, everything has a message for me at that time. So that's where I get my inspiration, right? So that is me sort of getting a jump start on other people. When they're asleep, I'm up and moving. I go to my boxing class at 6 o'clock in the morning, 3 times a week. I go to an ADAPT program, functional exercise program, to learn from somebody else because coaches need coaches. I'm looking for all of the advantages that I can have. So when I go out and do the work that I do, and I want to do it well, right? I want to be the best at what I do. And so I'm constantly trying to figure out, linking up with people like you, trying to figure out ways that I can make it happen. I'm on a podcast right now with you, talking about what I'm doing because I want you to hold me accountable. All of these things put together helps me to dominate what I'm doing in this space, right? There are other people that are doing it, and I don't pay attention to what they're doing necessarily. I just want to know that I'm getting to the place where I'm masterful at what I'm doing. that I could do it with my eyes closed. I could do it so well that people be the pathway to my door because they say that guy, boy, that Nate, he's good at whatever he's doing. I don't know what he's doing, but he's good at it. So these are the things that I think make a difference. So it's the reading, right? It's the association. I read a lot of different books by a lot of different people. Miles Monroe is probably one of my most favorite people. Seth Godin. I like Les Brown.
Yep.
But the guy that really set me off was Reginald Lewis. When Reginald Lewis asked the question, Reginald Lewis said, "Why should white boys have all of the fun?" Right? And so I'm saying, why should somebody else have the fun? Why don't I get some fun?
Yeah.
But I got to put the work in. So that's a lot of things I said.
No, and it's perfect. It's perfect. It not only it goes for everyone. It goes for anyone. Whatever your profession is, whatever you're doing, it's important to strive to be dominant. Your work ethic. You talk about reading, researching. Even in my field, you want to be at edge of the competition. You have to try and outwork the competition or be the best in what you're doing. And what you mentioned is perfect in terms of that passion or that zeal to be dominant. That's what's going to propel you to the next level. So fantastic points, man. And again, that's why wanted to have you, because you're dropping some gems, right? You're dropping some gems here. Dropping some gems. But I Nathaniel, we're in this pandemic, and you mentioned, and tell us why we should rethink our overall health in terms of life after the COVID-19.
So there's all types of these conversations going on. People saying, well, I want to take the vaccine. I don't want to take the vaccine. So I think that we have some real decisions to make about our own lives. And it's not necessarily about the vaccine, but it's really how do you want to live the rest of your life? And so if you want to be running around questioning everything all the time, maybe I should have taken it, maybe I shouldn't have taken it. I mean, you got to come to grips with one decision or the other and then do whatever's necessary. If you're not going to take it, how do you stay away from other people that may give you COVID? Because, I'm one who believes that it's real. And so, stepping out of the matrix of COVID now gives us an opportunity to rethink our health challenges, becoming more of our own health advocates, right? Becoming more of researchers around our health. Doctors, and I'm not critical of doctors necessarily. I'm saying that they don't have as much time to spend with you and me. So maybe 10, 15 minutes and they say, take this and take that. I've seen people who have like 15 or 20 different medications. How do they interact, right? So sometimes we need to find out for ourselves and say, yeah, no, I want to take this, but I don't want to take that. Or find ways through your program, something natural that can help you do it. But again, I'm saying that now is the time to really get serious about where we're going in terms of our health, but also in terms of our economic picture, in terms of how we deal with community. I mean, it's all tied in there together. And so the places we live, the people we associate with, the food that we eat, all of these things sort of make up who we are and how we come out at the end of this thing.
So and that's you're so right on that. And just to add that, you mentioned earlier, information plus action equal changes. Explain that.
Wouldn't you agree that just because you read a lot of books and you can talk about a lot of different things, if you're not going to do anything with the information, if you're not going to take action, if you're not going to try something, right, around making your health better, making your community better, making your family better, if you're not going to tweak that, then you're not going to get anything. You'll be frustrated. You'll continue to say, well, I read it, and I got that information. There's a lot of educated fools, right? But what we want to do, we want to actually become more productive. And so that's what I'm talking about is being productive. I would rather Andre, I would rather be the captain of my own rowboat than the second mate of anybody's major ship. And so I'm actually, I want to be in charge of myself. I want to take action, even if I have to make little bitty steps getting there. I just want to make sure that I'm using what little information and knowledge that I have to make sure I'm the best person I can be. Does that make
No,
sense?
no, I completely agree with you, and I mentioned that based on doing some research on you, because even in this age we have Google and information is all over the place. So
Mhm.
there's no excuse not to research, not to read, and then take action on that and see how we can take things, take control of our own destiny.
Sure.
It's
You triggered a thought in my mind. So sometimes for some of us, we don't understand success and failure, right? I see success and failure as the same thing. I want to succeed a lot, right? But in order for me to succeed as much as I need to succeed or want to succeed, I gotta deal with failure,
of
and,
course,
and
of
I got to
course.
manage it the same way. Because if whenever I get beat up, and I do get beat up a lot, sometimes I lose clients. If I don't work, I don't eat, right? And so if I lose a client, that means that I got to hustle again and try to find that money. And so,
Yeah.
what is my strategy for dealing with frustration? Do I drop my head and cry woe is me, or do I go back to the drawing board and say, now I got to find another way to do that? That's the way. That's the stuff that I'm trying to learn how to do and do better. And I hope that makes sense to somebody.
No, it makes a lot of sense. Most of the successful people out there, the Michael Jordan, the Amazon owner, all the Bill Gates, they all failed. They all,
Mhm.
if you look into their story, they all would speak about the importance of failures. That's when
Mhm.
they would learn how not to
Mhm.
go in that direction again.
Mhm.
That's failures are so important. They're lessons. They're
Mhm.
lessons to propel
Yeah,
you to the next level. So
absolutely.
great point right there. Great point.
Absolutely.
So Nathaniel, I want you to uh, tell us about your who would be your ideal client? If someone is obviously someone who wants to be ageless, but
Mhm.
it's not, as a business owner and as a professional, not everyone you want to be your client. So who would be your ideal client if someone is watching right now?
Well, let me take a step back, because I think that what I need to do is explain. So the Aces workout is a part of a concept that my partner and I have developed. So there are two sort of companies that have come together to form this organization, and we're very lean, right? We
Mhm.
have consultants that we work with. We put our technology together. We help people design gyms, or we sell product, we sell equipment. I mean, so it's a full service operation. So the clients that we have at now are only those people who want to accomplish goals and objectives. And for us, a lot of our clients are high end, you know, people who have liquidity about them, as an example, disposable income. But we have a community component as well. We have a nonprofit component, because we know that that's important as well. So the ideal client are those people who know that they need to do something, and they're willing to put investment in themselves. It is not an expense to take care of your health, yourself, or your health. It's an investment. So those people who are willing to invest time and resources would be the people that we talk about. But again, most of our clients are high net worth individuals. I don't want to deceive people.
So Nathaniel, someone may be listening or watching, and they'll be saying, there are a lot of health expert out there. So what separates you from the competition? Why should I come to you and call you now?
So I know a few things because I've seen a few things. Have you ever heard that
I
before?
like that.
Yeah. But the other thing is that I walk my talk, right? So if you want to know about me, all you got to do is check it out. I mean, some people say trust but verify, and it's really I think the commitment um, to myself that people can buy, right? That if Nate says that he's going to do it, that he does what he says he's going to do. But at the same time, if he tells me to do something, I know that he can do that himself, right?
Yeah,
And it's not necessarily all about me. It is about helping somebody else realize better and more things about themselves. It's that again, the eye on somebody else and not so much on myself.
fantastic, fantastic. If you could tell us your code, because again, there are a lot of healthcare experts out there, but different. Obviously, there are different strategies. So, what's your coaching philosophy? If you have, what would you say that would be, or how do you see? I know you mentioned earlier, you have to have you got to be proactive. You got to try to outwork people around you, and you have to be committed. So if there's a philosophy, a Nate philosophy, what would that be?
I'm always looking for somebody who's willing to stretch and to learn. And I think you can relate to what I'm saying. Learning and stretching are not fun. And
Nope.
sometimes those things can be painful. And so my
It's rewarding.
philosophy has more to do about getting the most out of yourself, right? Helping people get up when they get knocked down. So it's not all about health and wellness. It's more about the total person, building the total person, and really the faster somebody grasps these ideas, I love to see people grasp them. So then I can share some more with them, and then I want to see them go on without me, and then I want to see them share with somebody else. So it's really about growth and development and learning and becoming something else. So that's sort of my philosophy. What's interesting though is, but sometimes people stick around for a long time because they think I have a whole lot more to offer, and so I find myself constantly in the books, constantly looking at videos, constantly trying to be on the cutting edge. So it's that whole thing of being on the cutting edge, trying to cut people loose and encouraging them to stand on their own. We do things around medical fitness as an example. So if somebody has a stroke, if somebody has Parkinson's or any mental health or what have you, we work with people like that. We link up with doctors and we link up with physical therapists. I mean, this whole idea is always in the process, always learning. I'm never going to be at the top of my game because I know that I still have more to learn. I don't know what I don't know, and I'm open to learning. That's a lot of sort of the Nate philosophy or Nathaniel
No,
philosophy.
but that's great. That's great, and that's what life is all about. Once we're living, we should be always learning, right? We should always try to learn new things, and even as you mentioned, some great books. But I want to put you in the spot now. So what is the book you're reading now?
You said the book that I'm reading, right? I do a lot of audiobooks, right? But right now I'm checking out Miles Davis's autobiography, because I like what Miles represents, right? Miles was a difficult guy to get along with, but he was like a standalone. He was always pressing to be better, changing the music, right? And really he was outspoken he continued to grow and grow and grow. He didn't come from sort of meager beginnings. His father was a doctor and what have you, but he did push the agenda in terms of learning how to play that horn and make sure his chops was there. And if somebody else around him wasn't standing up and cutting the mustard, he'd tell them about it.
Yeah.
He was holding people accountable.
Yeah,
So
and direct.
that is sort of what I'm listening to and reading right now. But I'm still thumbing through a lot of different books. I wish that we were in my space. I mean, I have them close to me. A lot of things around health, wellness, and fitness, right? Because I'm involved with that. So different philosophies about that. I'm going through a golf certification right now. So some people being a golf fitness professional. So that's the stuff that I'm reading, and that's making me scratch my head as well. So these are the two things that I'm involved with right now.
Nice. Some fantastic stuff. Well, when I'm in the Miami area, maybe you could play some golf together. I'm like a golf addict,
Oh, okay.
I feel like every week.
Well, let's get out there. You may be able to teach me something.
I would love to. But Nate, man, I can't believe the time ran out so fast. We are basically down to the end. But before you leave, I wanted to give our audience, some of these pointers. What are some of the common mistakes individuals typically make from your standpoint? These mistakes are some key impediments to achieving health.
Run that by me again. I want to make sure I answer that. Run that by me again.
So, what are some of the key impediments for individuals achieving their health goals? We spoke about the being not committed, and just maybe not trying to bite off what they can chew. But if you could just give us some specific nuggets of what people can just ignore right now, and that will help them on the path of being healthy.
Well, I think an impediment for a lot of people is sort of looking at the magazines and trying to see themselves like the people on the magazine. They don't know that these maybe have been photoshopped. They don't know that perhaps these people have been through a dieting program and sort of cut their bodies down and are struggling through the health. So an impediment would be looking at superficial things and putting yourself in. So the real thing is what works for you. Finding out what works for you. Not necessarily a diet, but an eating plan. Having an eating plan that works for you, making sure you get proper amount of rest. Some people don't realize that sleep is important.
Of course.
So if you're not getting the right amount of sleep, you're grumpy. You're not going to do everything you need to do for yourself. You're not going to be sharp. So getting the proper amount of sleep, turn off the TV, shut the lights off when you go to bed, right? Get the best kind of sleep. But at the same time, being around the wrong kind of people, negativity, stress, arguing with your family, because sometimes family can be the worst thing. I'm not talking about your family. I'm talking about my family. I'm talking about my family. I got some people in my family that when I go on family vacations, I'm like, oh God, please make sure or let us work this thing out. But it's getting better. So getting around people who can help you and make you grow, because that's the stuff that we need to be the best people we can be. So these kinds of things I think are important, but at the same time, not being so hard on yourself. Mm-hmm. I think that we're very critical of ourselves. And so if we say something about we're going to accomplish something and we don't do it, I think we ought to have like 10,000 or 20,000 times to start over again and feel good about ourselves. Does that make sense?
No, that's great, man. That's great. And we all need to get more sleep and do the small things that can definitely propel us forward and make us live a healthy lifestyle. So great, great, great points.
Mhm.
But before you go, I wanted to tell our audience about your fundraiser for Special Olympia. Tell us about
Yeah,
that.
so thanks for asking about that. There's a couple things I want to share with you. So, but the fundraiser we're doing is for Special Olympics. We're doing the Ageless workout and we're partnering with a guy, Mickey Demos, at his gym to benefit Special Olympics, a Special Olympics team. Oh my God.
Yeah, you're
I'm
saying.
back.
Yeah, you're saying.
Somehow I lost you. So I was there talking about the Special Olympics team, who's going to nationals. They're a baseball team, so we're raising money to help those athletes. We're going to have some of the athletes with us over there on Sunday for that workout. We're inviting people around the area to either support with a donation or come to the workout and get a good workout in, but also do it for a cause. Sort of working out with a cause. Andre, I'm actually, the other thing is that I'm working on a book called "If You See a Turtle on a Stump, Somebody Put Him There." It's sort of how to be an adaptive navigator, the stuff that we're talking about right now.
Nice.
How to have some success in life. So it's these kinds of things, and of course these podcasts help me share the thoughts that I need to share as well.
Nice. So when the book is going to be out?
I hope very soon. I'm working with the publishers right now. I'm a perfectionist, so sometimes I think it's done, and then I say, oh, but I want this and I want that. But I suppose within the next year or so, it'll be coming out. I'll make sure I send you a special copy for taking the time out or taking the interest in the work that I'm doing.
No, and I would love to have a read. And I just published mine about a month ago called Visibility. It's in the background there.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that. I will, after this, send me your address, man. I'll send you a copy, and you could take a look at it. But so in terms of that you spoke about the Special Olympia, the information of your upcoming events, we can all see that on your website, right?
Right, website, but also on a social media, right? It's posted right now on social media. It's the Ageless workout with Mickey Demos boxing and Special Olympics. I got a Special Olympic athlete with me. I got Mickey Demos and myself. All of us are there, and Mickey is talking about his relationship with Gino. So it's posted, and then there's other ways that we'll share on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, or even YouTube. We'll send that information out.
Sure, and sure. So I wanted for our audience, I want you to just tell us about your website. How can they find out more information about you? What's your website?
So it's just like we're talking about www.agelessworkout.com, www.agelessworkout.com. On Facebook, I'm Nathaniel Wilkens, but you also can find a page on the Ageless Workout. On Instagram, it's the Ageless Workout Official. But anything that you see with Ageless Workout or Ageless Official, like YouTube or something like that, you'll find me and my partner, and you'll see us working with people who are unbelievable, sometimes 70, 80, 90-year-olds, but also 25-year-olds. Some of these 25-year-olds need to learn how to be ageless too. If they were to look back, if they were to say, well, what are my future self? What do I want to look like? Let me find these people right here. Isn't that called mentorship? That you find somebody that's doing what you want to do, and then you follow their path because they've already been there. So we do that with some younger people as well.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Hey, Nathaniel, it was great, man. fantastic conversation. I learned a lot about you and your business. Mr. Ageless Workout himself. Thanks for popping in and adding some value to what we're doing. And until we talk again, take care.
Yeah. So one last thing. So people can follow us right on those sites. But if you need some help or something, reach out to us.
Fantastic.